A very important thing with this chapter is to fully understand parts of the circle. So this might seem quite basic, but I just want to go through it to make sure everyone is on the same page. The radius of the circle is a line that connects, a straight line that connects the centre of the circle with any point on the circumference of the circle. Note that for A-level math, you don't need to learn any like wordy definitions or memorise any wordy definitions or anything like that. You just need to understand what these things are. And the diameter of the circle is basically double the radius. Is basically double the radius where 2 points on the circumference are connected. And the important thing with the diameter is that it will pass through the centre of the circle. And moreover, the centre of the circle will be the midpoint of these 2 points on the circumference here that are connected. Now, really quick, the midpoint, we talked about the midpoints briefly in the quadratic chapter. Midpoints come up quite a lot in this chapter, circle, so I thought I'm going to go through it quickly now. So for the points x1, y1, and x2, y2, the midpoint of these 2 points is equal, the x coordinate is x2 plus x1 over 2, and the y coordinate is y2 plus y1 over 2, and that is the midpoint if you sub those values in. So for example, let's do an example. Let's say that the 2 points on the circumference here, this point here is -3, 4, and this point here is 5, 6. The midpoint of these 2 points is going to be equal to, if you sub it into the formula, it's going to be -3 plus 5 over 2, 6 plus 4 over 2 is the y coordinate. If you put this into a calculator, figure it out in your head, it's going to be equal to 1, 5. So this point here is going to be 1, 5, and therefore the centre of this circle, as it's going to be the midpoint of these 2 points, the centre is going to be equal to 1, 5. Now, just really quick, I never really use this formula unless it's really complicated fractions or surds. I usually just do it in my head, and the way I do this is I add a value to the smallest coordinate, and I minus the same value from the biggest coordinates. For example, if I'm trying to find the midpoint of the -3 and the 5, what I would do is I would add 3 to -3 to get 0, and I would minus 3 from 5 to get 2, and the midpoint of 0 and 2 is the same midpoint as -3 and 5. We just narrowed the range so it's easier, and I can easily find the midpoint as 1. This is really useful, especially when the ranges are bigger than this. This is a really useful technique in my opinion, so I never really use this formula up here. And just one final point, we went over this in the length and area video in straight line graphs, but the distance formula between 2 points comes up quite a lot in questions here. If you don't remember it or you need reminding, for x1, y1 and x2, y2, the distance between these 2 points is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, and all of this is square rooted. If you want a bit more explanation on this, go to the length and area video and the straight line graphs section of the videos, the set of videos there. So this is quite a common exam question that they could ask, where they give you 2 points on the circumference of the circle, and the line that connects the points is the diameter of the circle, and therefore they want you to find the equation of the circle. So I always find a diagram really useful when I'm doing a question like this. It doesn't need to be to scale. In fact, I'm not even going to draw an axis. I'm just going to draw a circle, and it says that the line AB is the diameter of the circle. So the 2 points A and B, this isn't to scale, but it really doesn't matter. And the diameter is this, and say this is A, and this is B, and remember it passes through the centre. So this is the situation that we're dealt with. Now to find the equation of the circle, remember the equation of the circle is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. So in order to find the equation of the circle, we need to know the centre and we need to know the radius of the circle. Well, the radius we can figure out easily because we discussed this before. This is going to be the midpoint of the two points. So you can do this in your head. I'm just going to do the equation in order to kind of show the working out. So the midpoint is going to be, the x-coordinate is going to be 5 plus minus 1 over 2, and the x-coordinate is going to be minus 6 plus 1 over 2, and if you put this into a calculator or just figure it out in your head, it's going to be 2 minus 5 over 2. So we know that the centre of the circle is equal to 2 minus 5 over 2. Now we can figure out the radius because now we know the centre of the circle. We can find the radius because we can find the distance between either B and the centre or A of the centre, and that will give us the distance of the that will give us the length of the radius. So let's just use A. Let's just use A over here. The distance between the centre and A is D is equal to the square root of 2 minus 1 squared plus minus 5 over 2 minus 1 squared. And all of this is going to be square rooted, and if we put this into a calculator, we get the answer out as root 85 over 2. Note that another way you could actually do this is you could find the distance between B and A and then just divide it by 2, because remember the diameter is 2 times the size of the radius. You could do it like this as well, but I've just done it like this. So therefore now we know that the radius is equal to root 85 over 2, and therefore we can find the equation of the circle is going to be equal to x minus 2 squared plus y plus 5 over 2 squared is equal to the square of root 85 over 2, which is equal to 85 over 4. So here's a question on the equation of a circle, so pause the video, have a go, and I'll go through the answer in about 5 seconds. Okay, so for part A, it wants us to find the coordinates of the centre of the circle, and the way we do this is we're going to have to complete the square and get it into the form x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. So the way we're going to do this is I'm just going to quickly rearrange it into x squared minus 10x plus y squared plus 6y plus 30 is equal to 0, just to get the x's and the y's next to each other. And then we need to complete the square individually on each one. So for the first one, it's going to be x minus 5 squared minus 25. And for the y, it's going to be y plus 3 squared minus 9. And then remember the plus 30 on the end is equal to 0. We can simplify this to x minus 5 squared plus y plus 3 squared plus 30 minus 25 minus 9, which is going to be equal to minus 4 is equal to 0. And then we can move the 4 onto the other side to get x minus 5 squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 4, and therefore we can get the coordinates of the centre as 5 minus 3, as remember it's the opposite signs to what it is in the bracket. For part B, we need to find the radius, and this is easy. We just use the equation that we figured out before. So we need to find the square root of 4 to get r, and the square root of 4 is 2. So the radius is going to be 2. For part C, we need to find the y coordinates of the point where the circle crosses the line with equation x is equal to 4. So this is a point of intersection question. So what we know is, as it's the line with equation x is equal to 4, we know that all of for the coordinates, the x value is going to be equal to 4. So what we can do is simplify this and sub 4 in here to get 4 minus 5, which is minus 1, so minus 1 squared is just 1. So we can simplify this to 1 plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 4. And then we can move the 1 onto the other side to get y plus 3 squared is equal to 3. Then we can square root both sides to get y plus 3 is equal to, remember, it's going to be plus or minus the square root of 3, and then it's going to be y is equal to minus 3 plus or minus the square root of 3. And this is the answer to the y coordinates of the point. It's going to be y is equal to minus 3 plus root 3, and y is equal to minus 3 minus root 3.